Hi everyone. I just thought I'd make this little impromptu recording on the higher self, your higher self, your higher mind. Anyone who follows my social media channels will know that I speak a lot about the higher self. I'm always referencing the higher self, the spirit body, the astral body, transcending to higher realms and higher frequencies. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and not only am I passionate about it, but it's also core to my nature. So I am a Pisces. Pisces is the final sign, the 12th sign, old souls. They're naturally very spiritual, very mystical, very intuitive, and yeah, anyone who knows a Pisces will know that their core nature is very spiritual and very otherworldly. You know, we have one foot in this world and one foot in the other. So yeah, the higher self. I just kind of wanted to clear up any confusion with what the higher self actually is, and why it's also so important to connect to on a daily basis and strengthen. So your higher self is your higher mind. Everyone has a lower self, which is basically the primal, the primal animalistic, kind of shadowy, but not so shadowy. The shadow self is rooted in darkness. You know, it's shadow, so it's dark, but it also relates to the lower chakras, and the lower chakras are your root and your sacral, but also your solar plexus. And the reason why I'm mentioning the shadow self and the lower self is because it's really important to be aware of if you wish to vibrate higher and transcend to higher states of consciousness, higher chakras, basically your higher self. So yeah, why is the higher self important? Firstly, the higher self is really important because without a connection to your higher self, to the higher chakras, to higher, more divine and spiritual states of being, you become closed off and you become disconnected from yourself. You become disconnected from your true self. And energy, universal life force energy, which is also known as chi or ki, or I believe some people call it Reiki as well. It can be mistaken for Reiki, or anyway, the word itself is interchangeable. But chi or universal life force energy can't flow as freely when your higher chakras are not open or activated. And the reason I think why there's so much confusion with the higher self nowadays is because we do live in a very illusion prone, illusionful society. You know, we do have a lot of illusions. There is a lot of ignorance in the world. Lots of ignorance, lots of illusion. Society is currently in a state of ill health. You know, like there's a lot of bad karma, there's a lot of war. We see war and chaos and conflict everywhere. And yeah, I personally feel that and sense and see that we are quite disconnected from our higher selves, you know, like we are very disconnected from our higher selves. And when we aren't accessing our higher chakras, so our third eye and our crown chakra, we prevent the flow of energy. We limit the flow of energy. And actually, this is something I will quickly say. the connection between the lower and the higher chakras is something that should I say should be, practiced on a daily basis. Like, we should be practicing unblocking and clearing and activating our chakras on a daily basis, because it's the block of the flow of chi, or the flow of life force energy, that actually prevents us accessing higher transcendental states of consciousness and of self-awareness and intuition. So anyone who knows me will know that I work a lot in the dream states. I am a dream worker. I am a natural telepath, a natural clairvoyant, a natural psychic. I'm very psychically in tune, I'm very connected to my higher self. And this doesn't mean I'm imbalanced, and this is one thing I do want to say, it's something I'm actually very passionate about. Living in tune with your higher chakras doesn't make you imbalanced. So I personally know a lot of people who are very, very in tune with their higher chakras and their higher centers, higher energy centers, but they're still connected to their lower self and their lower chakras. So just really quickly, the lower chakras are your root, which is essentially about survival and security. Your sense of connection to the world, to others, to your body, how safe and secure you feel in your body, and also in your physical world, physical environments. So your root is very important, and it also is the start of your Kundalini energy, which is something I will go into in a bit. But yeah, your root is very important, and anyway, I'm digressing. Sorry, I'm digressing a bit. But yeah, next is your sacral chakra, and your sacral chakra is your seat of creativity and emotions and sexuality. So your sacral chakra is basically everything related to emotions and sensuality, sexuality, how confident and expressive you feel, both romantic and platonically, with other people. So a healthy sacral chakra basically is how able you are to interact with other people from a friendly and emotionally balanced perspective and frequency, energetic frequency. So yeah, your sacral chakra is very important, and this is why I would never ever sorry to be so I'm very passionate about this. Yeah, your sacral chakra, this is why I would never advocate becoming lost in your upper chakras, or just getting stuck in your upper chakras. And actually, if I'm going to be a bit personal here, I personally have become lost in my upper chakras before. So when I was younger and I was basically going on my spiritual journey, I had my own spiritual awakening. I was doing conscious fasts, regular fasts. I was meditating lots. I was finding out about Reiki and subtle energy and shamanic energy. I was working a lot in my dreams as well. Basically just activating psychic and spiritual gifts. And yeah, I got stuck in my higher chakras. I got so I found it so fascinating that there's this whole world of possibility and potential that I basically got stuck there, and I didn't let the energy flow freely back down to my heart and to my lower. not to my heart. I actually had a very strong heart chakra, but yeah, past my heart to my lower chakras. I didn't let the energy flow properly back down to my lower chakras. And yeah, anyone will know me, how this manifests in real life, in real time. I became very blocked. I was sexually disconnected, you know. I was in my shadow self a lot, because this is one thing also that I think is really important, and something I want to just quickly say. When you deny or reject part of yourself, you actually become stuck there. So if you're denying your sacral chakra, if you're denying your emotions and your sexuality, or even your sensuality, you know, your sexual self, you can actually become stuck there. And this is something that happened for me. I was so passionate about the higher chakras and about the crown chakra, the third eye chakra. I was so passionate about my newfound insights and my newfound self-awareness and everything that relates to the higher chakras. But I became stuck and I became blocked, and I kind of rejected my lower chakras, my sense of grounding, and also my sacral and solar plexus. So yeah, this is just one thing I think is important to digress on, is how it's really, really useful to open and unblock your upper chakras, to connect to your third eye, to connect to your crown, to connect to your throat even. But it's really important that you don't deny or reject your lower chakras as a result. So yeah, back to the higher self. Higher self is basically your spiritual self. It's your divine self. It's you're linked to cosmic consciousness. You're linked to psychic gifts. You're linked to intuition. And what we see in society a lot nowadays is too many people becoming stuck and blocked in their lower chakras. So, for example, you feel content, you know, you've created a reality, you've created a home, you've created a business, or you've got your own income. Basically, you feel comfortable in your body and in the external environments that you've created, but you become stuck there. So too much emphasis is given to the material, too much emphasis is given to the material realm and the material world, too much importance is put on assets and resources and things, you know, accumulating physical things. Yeah, this is what it means to be stuck, and this is also why, and this is me being brutally blunt and honest at my stuff. I'm not perfect, you know, I would never claim to be perfect. This is why I sometimes call people ignorant, and ignorance to me is not a bad thing. So if I say someone is ignorant, it's not me being mean-spirited, or it's not me attacking someone. It's not me saying I think I'm superior, or I think you're inferior, or, you know, oh, you're ignorant, so you're a bad person. It's nothing like that. When I use the word ignorant, it's basically recognizing that there is ignorance. So it's recognizing that there is some ignorance, there is some ignoring going on. You know, I mean, if you look at the word ignorance, the root of the word itself is about ignoring something, looking past something. So yeah, I do use the word ignorant a lot, and I mean, I don't know if people get offended or if maybe they are on my wavelength. Sorry, But yeah, I think personally the word ignorant isn't necessarily negative. Like you can call something as it is at straight value, and it doesn't have to be seen as something bad or something critical or something nasty. So yeah, there is a lot of ignorance in the world, and I personally see how it relates to the blocks that we have as a society in our lower chakras, and how we have stopped the flow of universal life force energy and chi moving upwards as it's supposed to our higher chakras, to our third eye, the seat of psychic visions, intuition, self-awareness, spiritual consciousness, unity consciousness, subtle perception, the abilities to perceive subtle energy. This is all the third eye. Sorry, this is me describing the third eye and its qualities. And also the crown chakra. So when energy doesn't flow to these places, that's when there's a lot of problems, and that is also when we become lost or stuck in our lower chakras. So yeah, the higher self is basically, if I were to give a phrase or a definition, for the higher self, I would personally say it's your open and active higher chakras. Yeah. Sorry, I haven't planned this. This is just me speaking in flow and just kind of channeling here. But yeah, I would say it's your open and higher chakras, your active, open and unblocked higher chakras. So yes, this is why it's very important to unblock your higher chakras and to actually live through them as well, to live in alignment and in harmony with your higher chakras. Because yeah, there is a big risk of getting stuck in your lower ones, and how this manifests, how we see it play out. We see all sorts of stuff, and I know that if you're listening to this, you're also aware of this, like you must be aware of this. We see ignorance, we see judgment, we see gossip. So many people engaging in gossip, slander, small minds. Let's just keep it real. This is a real message. I've got to keep it real. Small minds sitting around, not speaking about real things, not speaking about important changes they could make in their lives and in the lives of others. Not speaking about humanitarian themes, or how they're going to leave their shitty job and go and help animals, or go and contribute to something bigger and better than them, something above the ego and the I reality, the ego reality. Small minds gossiping, projecting. I mean, don't get me started on projecting. Projecting is a huge topic which has played very strongly in my life. Like other people's projections, other people's illusions, which they project outwards onto other people, myself included. So yeah, this isn't even touching the iceberg. This is just all kind of face value stuff, Blocked and unhealed chakras can lead to projection and gossip and ignorance. And the reason why it's so important not to engage in this, not to let the ignorances and the illusions of the world take over, is you are a channel. Okay, we're all channels, right? Let's just keep it real. We're all channels. Our bodies, we as humans, we are channels. We are meant to be conduits, essentially. We're meant to be conduits for a cosmic consciousness, for the divine, for a higher consciousness. We are channels, we are conduits, and it's really important to be aware of how energy flows, or how it's supposed to flow through our bodies as the channels, you know, because yeah, ignorance is not bliss, you know. Let's just say it as it is. I've got to say it as it is, people. Ignorance is not bliss, you know. And I know a lot of people who live in ignorance, you know. They live in their illusions, they play out their toxic traits, they get stuck in their ignorance and their illusions and the preconditioned conditions sorry, preconditioned conditions, can't speak, pre-imposed conditions that society puts on them. And yeah, it does lead to all sorts of stuff, you know. It leads to all sorts of stuff in real time, in real life. Gossip and hatred is just two examples. Jealousy, codependency, the need to be right, the need to always think you're right, sort of arrogance, self-entitlement, the need to speak badly about others and belittle people. I know a lot of people who belittle people and put others down to make themselves appear good or appear in a favourable light. Yeah, I just want to stop for a second, sorry. I shouldn't have to use a disclaimer, but I am speaking for my higher self here. So all of this is channeled higher self wisdom, which is coming from my heart and my higher chakras. I don't speak bad about people. I mean, anyone who knows me will know that I don't speak bad about people. I don't gossip. I don't engage in lower frequencies, lower vibrations that a lot of people do. So yeah, this whole message is channeled wisdom from my higher self, and I don't know who will listen to it. I don't know who will resonate. But this is just a message I felt I wanted to create, and yeah, who knows how many people will listen. But yeah, so your higher self is really important, and if we just look at the effects that not living in harmony with your higher self has, we will see just how powerful it is, and just how powerful its block is, or is preventation. Preventation, is that a word? Let's just say block. The block. Sorry. The block to your higher self. How important it is to recognize the blocks and recognize the actual real-time effects that occur with not accessing your higher self. So yeah, I don't do gossip, I don't do jealousy, I don't do judgment. I'd rather channel my energies into something more worthwhile, you know, just keeping it real. I'd rather be a hermit, or I'd rather be a hermit. I'd rather channel my energies into something meaningful, something worthwhile. Even as I record this, I am currently in Mexico. I actually left the UK to engage in some much needed self-care and mind expanding activities. I'm signed up to Workaway. I'm looking for places to volunteer and projects, meaningful, worthwhile projects to be of service at. Service is really important to me. So yeah, I don't do gossip, and I haven't done for a long time. And this is something that I feel very passionate about, and I feel that a lot of people still haven't transcended. They would rather sit around quite simply and engage in gossip and talk crap about other people, and basically just engage in sketchy, low vibrational activity, sketchy, low vibrational activity. And it's really not healthy. Like, Obviously, as you can tell, my chakras are open. My communication is open. My communication channels are open. My chakras are unblocked. I'm a very balanced and grounded being. I'm very in tune with my emotional body and my human grounded self. But I'm also very in tune with my multi-dimensional, cosmic or divine spiritual self. So yeah, I'm a very balanced and grounded, high vibrational being. That's just my truth. That's keeping it real. That's just my truth. But yeah, I personally make choices. I spent my whole 20s making sacrifices. I spent my whole 20s making choices that aligned me with my higher self and my best self. And referring back to the message here, I think, not only think, but I sense and I see and I feel very strongly. A lot of people don't, and they would honestly rather just sit around and gossip and slander and talk about other people. And yeah, bringing it back to my story, sorry, it's what I actually find it really hard to talk about myself, but I know sometimes you have to, and sometimes if you want to get a point across or share your story or get a point across, you have to speak about yourself. But I've recently come from being a landlady. I was actually a landlady in the UK for quite a few years, I think it was just over 2 years. And yeah, I got stolen from. I got conned. I got stolen from. I had people abuse and misuse my trust. I had people who quite literally gave the world to. And yeah, they just abused my kindness and took advantage of me and were all about what they could gain for themselves. And then on top of that, to put the kind of evil cherry on top of the cake, it's not funny, but on top of me being supremely kind and generous and unconditionally loving, they then sat around and bitched about me for months to possibly years. I think even my higher self actually told me maybe even years, but definitely months. They bitched about me, gossiped about me, intentionally spread mistruths and rumours about me, quite simply to hide their own actions, to hide their own insecurities and jealousies and envy and the way they treated me, because they did treat me really unfavourably. I'm not a victim. I'm definitely not a victim in my life. I don't play victim. I barely even ask for help, to be honest. Actually, this is a block of mine which I need to work on. But yeah, I definitely don't play victim. I'm not a victim of my life. I take full ownership and responsibility. But yeah, these people, they lied, straight out, keeping it real, lied. Like, they sat there for months making up lies and rumours and gossip about me, and it was all to mask their jealousy and the way they actually treated me. So the point of what I'm trying to say is, all this ignorance, all this illusion, it's really unhealthy, and these people, just taking my story as an example, these people essentially used me as their scapegoat because they themselves were not connected to their higher selves and not connected to their own divinity or their own souls on a real level, So they weren't connected to their souls, they weren't connected to their higher selves, they weren't in tune with the divine, there was nothing godly or spiritual or organically righteous about them. They were quite simply lower vibrational beings who just like to gossip and bitch and slander and this is a complete reflection of them. I don't get involved in this stuff, I'm keeping it real. I'm a spiritual woman, I'm a majestic woman, I'm a soulful woman, I'm a righteous woman. Okay, I'm maybe not religious in the traditional sense, but I am a very righteous woman, I believe in the divinity, I believe in the Great Spirit, I believe in authentic spirituality and past lives, future lives, a cosmic, timeless consciousness. This is my truth. That's who I am. I believe in all of that. So yeah, I'm a very righteous woman, and I don't get involved in this stuff. I don't get involved in the jealousies and the pettiness of lower vibrational people, or the toxic energy and the judgment. And I would never sit around and just gossip and slander about someone, or speak so negatively and badly about someone. I don't do mean-spirited energy, like all of this. I'm digressing a bit, but all of this low vibrational toxic energy, I just don't do, and I haven't done since I think maybe I was 16, 17. Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking. 16, 17. I was an early starter. My spirituality is authentic, and I was an early starter. So when a lot of people were partying, I was essentially the hermit who was alone in my room, studying and learning about spirituality and learning about the metaphysical universe and the law of attraction and how to be a better human. So yeah, back to the small-minded, kind of gossipy, toxic, ignorant energy. It's really important to access your higher self, guys. Okay, it's really important. I cannot stress how important it is to connect to your higher chakras, your third eye, your crown chakra, your throat chakra. And this is another thing I want to say, just to digress a little. Your throat chakra, okay, so basically, a lot of people think the throat chakra is just like communication, so communication, self-expression, your ability to speak your truth, your ability to express your emotions and your beliefs and your feelings. The throat chakra is this, but it's also a bit deeper. So there's actually also an ethereal, kind of astral, ethereal, multi-dimensional aspect to the throat chakra. So basically, if you're spiritually open and you're spiritually aware, the throat chakra actually serves as a link to angelic consciousness, the angelic realm, angelic consciousness, the kind of spiritual ethereal energy, also clairaudience. So your throat chakra on a subtle level is actually a link to clairaudience and the other clairs, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairvoyance. Clairvoyance. So yeah, a lot of people think that the third eye and the crown chakras are the only kind of upper chakras, but actually the throat is considered one of the higher chakras as well, and it is because of this angelic, kind of cosmic, spiritual link, linked to clairaudience, linked to being able to express yourself imaginatively and in tune with subtle energy. In tune with subtle energy. The throat chakra is actually one of the upper, higher chakras, and when you have a closed throat chakra, it can actually lead to blocks in all the others. And this is why it's really important. And I'm just gonna say, me personally, my story. I've had quite a strong relationship with my throat chakra. So in my youth, I used to be quite blocked. My throat chakra was blocked, and my sacral chakra, my sacral chakra was blocked. And if you don't know, the sacral and the throat chakras are actually very strongly linked. So basically, if you have a block in your throat chakra, you will have a block in your sacral, and vice versa. Because according to chakra philosophy, okay, so this is according to chakra philosophy, I am personally studied in it, maybe not as deep as I could or as deep as other things I'm studied in, but I am personally studied in chakra philosophy. Certain chakras link. So when there is a block in one of your chakras, there will also be a block in another corresponding one. And two chakras that do link are the throat chakra and the sacral. So for me personally, I was quite blocked in my sacral, so I was quite emotionally closed off. I had intimate issues, sexual issues, I had issues in my sexuality from my youth. I had issues in my sensuality. I'm naturally quite a sensual person, like you probably hear by the way I speak. I'm naturally quite a sensual, soft, gentle person. So yeah, in my youth I denied my sensuality and also my sexuality. And yeah, that gave me a lot of problems with the way I communicate, or my inability to communicate, should I say. I was very closed off, and I couldn't speak my truth. I couldn't share my perspectives properly or clearly, or I've always been very intuitive, right? Like, I'm a very intuitive person, obviously. My YouTube channel is called The Dream and Spirit Weaver. I'm a very intuitive, spiritual person, but I couldn't express myself and my views and my insights and my wisdom in the way that I wanted to, and it was all linked to my sacral chakra, my sacral. So yeah, one thing I will say, sorry, I've just realised I've gone off topic a bit. That's what happens when you open yourself up as a channel. You can digress a little bit. Yeah, one thing I do want to say is your heart chakra. So your heart chakra is actually a bridge between the lower self and the higher self, or the lower consciousness and the higher consciousness. Your heart chakra is essentially a bridge. So in short, you can't expect to have open and active higher chakras and thus a higher self if you haven't opened or healed your heart chakra. And the same goes for your lower ones. You can't expect to have a healthy heart chakra if you have blocks in your higher ones and you're not letting the energy flow properly up and down between your lower self and your higher self. So yeah, the heart chakra is a bridge between higher and lower consciousness. So primal and animal and spiritual consciousness. And it's really important, like, I've got to stress this, it is really important to heal and activate and energize, awaken your heart chakra, if you wish to access your intuitive, psychic and clairvoyant gifts, because your heart is a portal, essentially. Like, your heart chakra is a portal. Okay, physically, there is a physical aspect to the heart chakra. Physically, it does relate to certain qualities and characteristics, but energetically and spiritually, it is also a link or a bridge to higher states of consciousness and to a balanced and harmonized chakra system. To being able to let the energy flow downwards to your lower chakras, which then stimulates Kundalini energy and lets it flow back up to your higher self. I'm probably going to make a video. I'm probably going to make a video on this another time on Kundalini energy. I have a very intimate journey with my own Kundalini and with Tantra. I don't think I've shared this, not verbally at least, but I do actually practice and engage in Tantra. I don't want to call myself a master, but I do have quite a close and intimate relationship with tantric energy. Tantra, if you aren't aware, is the unification of mind, heart, body and soul. Mind, heart, body and soul. So it's basically the way of the heart. Tantra is called the way of the heart. And yeah, I personally, it's getting a bit deep about me. But yeah, I have controlled my sexual energies. I am in control of my sexual energies. I would consider myself quite sexually mastered. Maybe it's because I'm 30 and I've transcended a kind of wanderlusty, promiscuous vibration that I once held in my youth, as we all do. But yeah, I do engage in Tantra and I am quite tantrically self-mastered. I'm not in a position to teach it. Definitely not in a position to teach it. I wouldn't ever claim to be an expert. I'm an expert in Reiki and other energy systems, but not in Tantra. But yeah, I wouldn't ever claim to be an expert or a master of Tantra, but I do practice it, and I do know how to control my sexual energies and my spiritual energies, because this is one thing that is actually, and yeah, do you know what, this does relate to the topic of the higher self and transcending ignorance, transcending jealousy, transcending gossip, low vibrational energy. Sexual energy is strongly linked to spiritual energy. Okay, so sexual energy is strongly linked to spiritual energy, and once you've become even slightly masterful of your sexual energies, you will start to see just how closely it relates to psychic and intuitive and spiritual energy. Because sexual energy basically gets pulled from, well, not pulled, maybe pulled is not the right word. Sexual energy basically obviously starts in your root, so it starts in your root chakra, and then it gets drawn up to through your heart, which is your central chakra, and then up to your higher chakras. So anyone who is aware of how sexual and Kundalini and spiritual energy works will know that it travels up through your spine, through your chakra system, your main body chakras, and then it finally reaches the higher energy centers. And yeah, sexual energy is strongly connected to spiritual energy. And this is why, drum roll, this is why people who aren't in tune with the higher self and aren't in tune with any sort of spiritual aspects of being, any sort of spiritual gifts, basically closed off to spirituality, right? You all know these sorts of people. They aren't able to access the higher vibration of sexuality and their own sexuality on this earth plane, because psychic and spiritual energy is very, very strongly linked to sexual energy. And this is also why we see a lot of people who play out toxic and karmic cycles, karmic relationships, toxic relationships, karmic sex, toxic sex, you know what I'm on about. This is why we see a lot of people stuck in those sorts of relationships and energies, because quite simply they haven't mastered their own self, and they haven't mastered their mind and their emotions and their body and their spirit, and risen above, transcended the lower vibrational energies of a more karmic or toxic cycle. And yeah, you just have to look at the snake symbolism of the snake, and maybe take a mindful note at this point, to make a mental note, a reminder, conscious reminder, that even in all religions, Christianity, you got the snake, the Garden of Eden with the snake of wisdom, serpent was the kind of sinner. The serpent represents sin. He enticed this holy couple to eat from the tree, eat an apple from the tree, sin. The snake in spirituality represents wisdom and your Kundalini. So the free flow of energy from your root to your crown, your lowest chakra, your root chakra, to your crown chakra. And the snake is actually a symbol of wisdom in many cultures and many religions, but specifically referring to spirituality, like a more general spirituality, not a religious one. The snake does actually symbolize wisdom, and yeah, can I say this? Yeah, like sin. I guess sin. I would never say your Kundalini is representative of sin, at least not in a dogmatic or dogmatically religious way. But yeah, the snake does, on a level, represent sin, because if you look at the story of Garden of Eden, the snake did entice this divine holy couple to eat from the tree of life, and that made their spirit become trapped in earthly form. And obviously this is a very metaphorical interpretation. I'm not saying don't eat or become fruitarian or breatharian. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not suggesting anyone here fast themselves to oblivion, or don't engage in sex, or don't stay connected to your body. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, the meaning behind my words, is if we do look at the story of Adam and Eve, and we do look at the symbolism, the energetic symbolism of the snake, we can see that there are actually many similarities in what certain religions have taught us, and what spirituality and chakra and Kundalini philosophy teaches us. I've proper digressed here. I'm so sorry. I've really digressed here. But yeah, it's really important to be aware of your Kundalini, at least, and be aware of your sexual and spiritual energies, because there is so much ignorance in the world. And if we take it back to personal stories and real grounded daily living life, we know that there's a lot of hatred, and there's a lot of drama, and a lot of conflict, and a lot of confusion. People engage in confusion and conflict and chaos too frequently. And I've personally come from a situation where my old friends, they did engage, just keeping it real, they did engage in a lot of drama, and they were very much gossipy, low vibrational individuals. And I'm not saying all of them were. I don't persecute people. I'm not saying every single one of them are like this. But there were a few individuals who were the culprits, and as a result, they lowered the vibration of a group to kind of match their jealousy and insecurity. And it's funny. Maybe I shouldn't laugh at this. Sorry. I do have compassion. I'm a very compassionate person. I have so much compassion. So I am sorry for laughing, but I do have compassion. You know. It happens to be the girls, and this isn't me being sexist. This isn't me, saying like men are better or men are more evolved. We get loads of narcissistic and toxic men in this world. But yeah, it did happen to be the girls. Very young, very immature, very toxic, gossipy girls. And I don't know if society has something to blame with this, the obligations and pressures of society. But yeah, all the people I know who have kind of shamed me or persecuted me or put severe judgment and emotional and verbal abuse have been the girls. And it's always and I will speak freely here, it's always the strong kingly men, okay, the kingly, in tune with their emperor, in tune with their inner emperor, in tune with their inner king, Thrones Tower here, the kingly men who have to kind of lower their vibe to kind of match these girls' frequencies. And I don't know if anyone else has had a similar story or feels a similar way, because actually, and we do live in a dualistic world, and I am a creature of duality, so excuse me. I do recognise the duality of life. I do know a lot of women who are very spiritually evolved and who are extremely beautiful and pure and in tune with their inner empress and in tune with their inner queen. So I'm really not trying to differentiate between girls and boys or men and women. I know a lot of women who are very spiritually evolved and majestic and connected to their divine light. So this really isn't a dig at women. I love women. I have many sisters and many female friends who are very magical and very spiritually evolved. But yeah, I do feel that society puts a lot of pressure on young girls, and it does result in a lot of jealousy and a lot of illusion. And it's a funny one. I don't know, I'm kind of digressing a bit here, so I think I'm going to end this little channeled message. But yeah, higher self, lower self. It's really important, guys, to connect to your upper chakras, okay? I'm not saying become imbalanced. I'm not saying become ungrounded. I'm not saying deny your root or your sacral or even your ambition, self-empowerment, ambition, solar plexus. I'm not saying any of this. What I am saying is keep it high, okay? Keep it high, vibrate high, stay in tune with your intuition, connect to your psychic gifts, see a shaman, see a shamanic healer, see a Reiki Master, visit an elder or an energy healer frequently. Learn from them, learn from the healers and the Reiki Masters and the pure spiritual people of this world, because there is too much ignorance to get lost in such low vibrational antics. And we have enough war, okay? We have enough war, we have enough conflict. So I'm trying to speak gently and with some soul and compassion here. We have enough war, we have enough conflict, and we really don't need to add to it by staying unhealed and unevolved. It's as simple as that. We really don't need to add to it by staying unhealed and unevolved and imbalanced. So yeah, my energy's going. I've been speaking for 55 minutes. This wasn't planned. I'm currently in the ancient city of Palenque in Mexico. Very high vibration energy in Mexico. I actually feel more in tune with my soul here than I have done in a long time. As I said, I recently came out of a few toxic situations in the UK, living with some toxic people, living with some jealous people, living with people who just want to project. So I do know how it feels. If you're going through this and you're currently going through a struggle, or you're listening to this because you want to connect to your higher self and you just want to see what kind of wisdom or message comes through for you, I do empathise. I have been there, I have been there strongly many times. I can laugh about it now. I almost laughed. I can laugh about it now. I can smile about it. But yeah, I do know what it feels like, and I know what it's like to be a black sheep or an oddball or someone who society sees as strange and weird and even convinces your friends or your lovers or your soulmates or kindred spirits or your family to hate on you because you are different. Okay, there's no way to say it. You are different, and it's a beautiful thing, and it's not something you should ever be ashamed of. Okay, like you never be ashamed of your difference and your weirdness and your uniqueness. I recently posted another video which I recorded from this woman called the Dream Clairvoyant. Her name's the Dream Clairvoyant. Very powerful. She's quite young herself actually, but yeah, very, very powerful, like very in tune, very psychic, very gifted as well. And yeah, she basically says the same message, some people will hate you because of your gifts, and some people will hate you because of your uniqueness and your authenticity and your pureness. Pureness is a magnet for energy vampires and for narcissistic, toxic characters, and that is just, sorry to say, but that is how it is. The world is a very, very superficial place, and if you are going through something, I just want to let you know, money doesn't motivate me. Okay, like money has never motivated me in this life. I know my gifts and my powers transcend the material realm and transcend this physical reality, transcend material needs and interests. But I am available. If you do need my help, if you do require some assistance, I am available to help. I do have a lot of gifts which can help you. I do have a lot of unique abilities that can help if there is something you feel you would like from me. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement, whether you have money or not. I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement which can help. I'm always happy to receive donations or offer a reduced rate depending on your personal circumstances. But yeah, do feel free to reach out if you need some help, because I personally have been through it, and I really have been through a lot of stuff which has made me stronger and has basically made me more in tune with my gifts and who I know I am. So yeah, you can always email me, you can always visit my website, you can always check out my Facebook or check out my other videos. I upload a lot of content nowadays. Now I'm in Mexico and I'm travelling, doing a lot of self-care daily, engaging in a lot of self-care frequently, a lot. So yeah, I just want to say, if you are an oddball, if you are a black sheep, if you've got special gifts, if people have hated on you or judged you, or you've suffered from real abuse, or you know, basically the ignorance and illusions of people who vibrate low, people who do hold toxic energy, people who do vibrate low. I'm here for you. And yeah, just remember that higher self is the key. Higher self is the key. Okay, just reached 1 hour. I'm going to say bye. Okay, much blessings, much love. I hope you will find some joy and some peace from this message, and know that we're all connected. We're all connected. Okay, much love. God bless. Bye.